What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode where we're going to have some fun and talk about Daxin? What in tarnation's Daxin, you might ask? Now, if you don't know what it is, what it can do, and what it means for you, then keep watching. And even if you do know what it is, just keep watching. Daxin is widely seen as the most advanced piece of malware ever to be produced by state-sponsored hackers from China. You might remember the episode I just did about a Russian-produced piece of malware being used to steal info from Ukrainian hacker systems. Now, that Russian DDoS info stealer malware is an opportunistic malware that probably has a very limited lifespan. It's focused on hackers who are currently trying to attack Russia to stop them from invading the Ukraine. Now, once the invasion is over, malware is pretty useless. Yes, of course, it can be repurposed, but for what? Now, the Daxin malware, on the other hand, is created by, again, state-sponsored hackers from China, and it's just one tool in their ever-growing toolset used to hack other countries. Now, in case you missed the episode on the Russian-developed DDoS tool, the link is above. In this episode here, we're going to talk specifically about Daxin, Chinese state-sponsored hacker groups, and what that means for you. Now, I hope you'll watch the full episode, but if not, you can now skip directly to my insights at the end of the episode, right from the timeline below. For the rest of you, let's go through the story together and see what we can learn to protect ourselves and others.
Oh, drat these computers. They're so naughty and so complex. I could pinch them.
The most advanced piece of malware that China-linked hackers have ever been known to use was just revealed. Dubbed Daxin, the stealthy backdoor was used in espionage operations against governments around the world for a decade before it was caught. But the newly discovered malware is no one-off. It's yet another sign that a decade-long quest to become a cyber superpower is paying off for China. While Beijing's hackers were once known for simple smash-and-grab operations, the country is now among the best in the world thanks to a strategy of tightened control, big spending, and an infrastructure for feeding hacking tools to the government that's unlike anything else in the world. This change has been going on for years, driven right from the very top. Soon after he ascended to power, President Xi Jinping began a reorganization of China's military and intelligence agency, which prioritized cyber warfare and initiated a fusion of military and civilian organizations geared toward boosting the nation's cyber capabilities. Congratulations, you're doing a great job by wanting to learn about China's Daxin malware cyber-espionage campaign over the past decade. Now, I appreciate your support by watching my episode about it. If you're new to my channel and have not already, please consider subscribing to my channel and smashing the bell to be notified when I upload new episodes where I give you insights into the newest, important cybersecurity news stories like this one. With my insights, you can be better prepared to protect your company, your family, and of course, yourself against these and other cyber attacks. So, hit the subscribe button now, and let's continue learning about this story together. China's offensive cyber capabilities rival or exceed those of the United States, said Winona DeSombre, a research fellow at the Harvard Belfer Center, in congressional testimony on China's cyber capabilities back on February 17th. And its cyber defensive capabilities are able to detect many U.S. operations, in some cases turning our own tools against us. And in February of last year, 2021, a massive hacking spree against Microsoft Exchange servers by multiple Chinese groups, beginning with zero-day exploits known as the proxy logon vulnerabilities, showcased Beijing's ability to coordinate an offensive so large in scale, it seemed chaotic and reckless to outside observers. The onslaught effectively left a door wide open on tens of thousands of vulnerable email servers for any hacker to step through. People at the highest levels of power in China appreciate the importance of cyber capabilities. The CEO of Keyhoe 360, which we've often quoted here, the country's biggest cybersecurity company, famously criticized researchers from China doing work outside the country and implore them to stay in China to realize the strategic value of powerful software vulnerabilities used in cyber espionage campaigns. Chinese cyber researchers are effectively banned from attending international hacking events and competitions, tournaments they once dominated. A hacking contest pits some of the world's best securities researchers against one another in a race to find and exploit powerful vulnerabilities in the world's most popular tech, like iPhones, Teslas, or even the kind of human-machine interfaces that help run modern factories. Prizes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars incentivize people to identify security flaws so that they can be fixed. This mandate from China was expanded with regulation requiring all software security vulnerabilities to be reported to the government first, giving Chinese officials unparalleled early knowledge that can be used for defensive or offensive hacking operations. We've seen one exception to this rule. An employee of the Chinese cloud computing giant Alibaba reported the famous Log4j vulnerability to developers at Apache instead of first delivering it to Chinese government authorities. The result was a public punishment of Alibaba and implicit warning for anyone else thinking of making a similar move. So what can we learn? Well, time after time after time, China has studied the US system. They've copied its best attributes, and in many cases, they've expanded the scope and reach. As the US-China rivalry continues to function as the defining geopolitical relationship of the 21st century, cyber will play an outsized role in what China's own leaders rightfully call a new era. All things cyber touch everything from commercial competition to technological advancement and even warfare in a form of cyber warfare. So if you look at this story, just standing alone by itself, the fact that any security company is required in China to first report a found bug to the government before it reports it to the developers of the software should give you an idea of the power and reach they have at their fingertips. Just think about any Microsoft bug found in the last few months alone. Now, I've done a bunch of episodes on different issues with Microsoft. There's Print Nightmare, there's Exchange vulnerabilities left and right, there's Microsoft SQL Server, Browser zero days, the list goes on and on and on. Now, take all those vulnerabilities and imagine that days, weeks, even months before Microsoft is told about some of these bugs, the Chinese government already knows about them and their band of hackers is working to exploit them. Again, in this story, we read that in February 2021, tens of thousands of Microsoft Exchange servers were hacked by China-linked app groups using the proxy logon vulnerability. That's just one set of vulnerabilities, and it's only in the year 2021. They have been building this empire for 10 years using these strategies, and we just, after 10 years, found out about this Daxin malware. It's been sitting there forever, and we just found it out. Now, I'm not trying to be an alarmist here, but I can only envision buildings in all those empty cities in China filled with programmers or hackers sifting through code looking for vulnerabilities and reporting them to the Chinese government. And to top all of this off, to put the cherry on top, the bow or the ribbon around the package, whatever you want to call it, we just learned that allegedly the Lapsus gang, a group of apparent teenagers, hacked Microsoft and stole the source code for many of their apps. So now, take my imaginary buildings of Chinese hackers sifting through code, give them all this Microsoft source code, and let's just sit back and wait for all the hacks to happen. If you don't think that they snapped up a copy, you're nuts. It's still available as a torrent. You can still download it. Now, I believe we have to place more focus on awareness going forward and educate people about the risks. The 9 gigabyte zip file with Microsoft source code includes tons of projects, including Cortana iOS source code, Azure Queues monitoring project source code, various HoloLens search project code, Teams meeting bot source code, and a ton of source code about Maps and Bing, like the source code for Bing Maps iOS SDK, Bing Maps Legacy, Bing Maps Native iOS SDK, Bing Maps React Native. It's all out there and being scanned, not just by hackers, but also maybe by, SEO experts trying to get an edge on the Bing Maps API. I know it's only Bing, but millions of people still use it, and it's embedded in very popular products like HoloLens. So finding a flaw could potentially lead to the takeover of yours or, your kids' HoloLens. Then there's Azure apps. There's Teams, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, even whatever programs that get bundled with Windows. Some of that source code was stolen. All in all, over 250 projects have been leaked so far. There could be more. So before you brush this off as just China being China and no big deal, think of how many people you know, you maybe live with or you work with, that use Microsoft products, from the operating system on their laptop or desktop to apps they use like Teams to their favorite, albeit mediocre, search engine. And now that you have watched my episode and are armed with this information, try to think about how you can educate yourself and others about how to spot the scams, the attacks, and help them be safe, because I am sure we will see an increase in attacks from China as well as against Microsoft products, given this source code is now out there. With that, I say thanks again for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already, and smash the bell if you haven't already. And I will see you on the next episode. Take care.